Good afternoon.
We're back.
We are.
We have decided to do, as best we can, an episode of 1 week, doing one, leaving some space, and then doing another one. So week on, week off, basically.
Life is lifing right now.
Hmm?
And we want to be able to give this our full effort and attention
Yeah,
and not just put up something because we have to. Want to produce actual quality conversations about where we're at,
yes.
and not overwhelm ourselves.
Hmm.
So that'll be the new schedule.
Yeah.
Bear with.
If it changes, we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
This week, or this episode on Securus, we're going to be talking about how we learn to communicate without fighting or having big arguments. Yeah.
I think, first of all, how we communicated before we started becoming securish was not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say we,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say we. Any little thing could turn into a massive blow up argument.
Yeah.
Because neither of us knew how to communicate without it like having a pressure cooker
Yeah.
underneath it. Whereas now I feel like, because we're not sitting in, oh my gosh, if I say this, this will happen, or misconstruing a thing or interpreting a thing a certain way without having a conversation of, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I think. And then the other person, me or I, being like, well, I hear you, and this is how I think, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Without fear.
Yeah, I agree. I think, no, I need to stop saying I think. I know that something I heard on TikTok, TikTok's got a wealth of knowledge, and people post things, and some people post and say, well, if you do this thing, it means this thing, without like trying to give like support or like ways of like combating it. Obviously, you can't tell anyone what to do. But I found that I can't remember who it was that told me. So he's amazing, but he was talking about like having like our inner voice being villagers, and we are the village head. So we are the ones observing what the villagers are saying, which is our negative self-talk or our patterns. And so whenever there's like something that Soph might say, and I have to sit with it and go, why has that bothered you? Is that the villagers, or is that you, the village head, thinking that? Are you observing what's being said, or are you taking that on as something that is the truth, even though it's not? And that's something that I feel like I struggled to do in the past. I would allow the villagers to take over and project what I felt Soph meant by what she said, even though it wasn't that. It's a difficult thing to kind of try and explain, to not project what my villagers are telling me about what Sophie meant, rather than asking her, what is it you meant by that? Because something's come up within me, and I feel like, I might have taken it the wrong way, or can you just explain to me what you meant in a way that's calmer, so it doesn't get her back up or get my back up? Obviously, sometimes it happens, and yeah, it happened a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it was a learning experience. I will say that. I'm a bit flat, so I'm not the kind of person to be like, haha, when I don't feel 100%. So this is me, not in my most, like, I don't know, my highest state, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm like super like, I don't feel it right now. Hence the tone and hence my mannerism. So I'm just keeping it a buck. But we're here, so I think I'd rather do this and try and help someone else than not do it at all and then fall into my own thought loops, fruit loops, yeah, if you will.
I think that's also a thing that has developed between us, is just feeling how we feel and not trying to, how can I explain it, like not try to pretend to feel a way that we don't feel.
Right.
So, if you're feeling flat right now, not trying to be like, oh, as you literally just said, oh yeah, everything's hunky dory and blah blah blah, because like you can sense when that happens. And I used to do that
Right.
a lot. As an avoidant, you, like, your whole MO is about shutting down or trying to hide those feelings that you have, so you can't be seen, quote unquote. And that, like, for instance, if you asked old Sophie, "Oh, how are you?" I'd be like, "Fine," but my whole energy, if I wasn't fine, would be projecting, "I am not fine." So that's in direct conflict, and that would bring up conflict, because it's like, well, obviously that's not the case. So why are you saying that? And then when you shut down all of your emotions, if if something is said that you don't necessarily like, there is no filtration of, okay, you feel this, sit and feel it, but not react through it. And obviously that is not conducive of a healthy dialogue. Whereas now, and I don't get it right all the time, a couple of weeks ago I definitely did not get it right, but now we can, if something comes up, okay, I need a minute, or let's take a minute, or I'm going to walk away because I'm feeling XYZ. And then that allows, I believe that allows space between us to go away and feel how we feel. It doesn't mean you're running away from whatever it is excuse me, that you're talking about, but it gives you the space to process the emotion, so you don't react through it. So then a healthy conversation can come afterwards.
I'm going to give you all a real life situation that I'm actively living through right now. My period's due tomorrow, and I don't feel great, and I haven't done for a while. So I came downstairs, and my villagers, I walked in, Soph didn't go, "Oh, you look nice." She didn't say that. So in my mind, I was like, "Oh, she doesn't think I look nice." No, I don't think I look nice. So I was seeking validation from Sophie. She didn't give it to me. In the past, that would have started an argument. "Oh, so you can't say I look nice. I always say you look nice. So then why are you actually saying that you look nice? Why are you saying that then? Do you actually mean it, or are you seeking validation?" But because I don't feel like I feel great, I'm in my luteal phase, I believe, where I just don't feel great at all. It's like it's like me observing it. So that brings it perfectly into how we communicate better, because I'm expressing it on this video. That's the first Soph's heard about it, because I thought it was a great example to tell you all, because it's okay to want to sometimes seek validation, but it's where it comes from. And that would have been an argument in the past, because I would have been like, "Oh, so you can't say I look nice? Does she need to? If you know you look nice now, what's the problem?" But because I don't feel like I look nice, this is the thing that people get wrong, because when we don't feel like we look good within ourselves, we project on other people. And that's something that a lot of people do not stop to like acknowledge within themselves, which is why they put it onto other people. Where I've observed it now, I'm not gonna put that on Sophie, because it's not for Sophie to say that she's not gonna. Sophie Neville's not gonna say something she doesn't feel, and she'll say it when she feels it. So I'd rather her be authentic in that. But in the past, that anxiety / that ego was like, "Well, you haven't said anything, which means that you don't feel that way." Again, assuming I can't speak for her. And also, I'm aware now that when I am on my period beforehand, it's difficult for me to think that I look attractive, that I like anything about myself, and that's real. But rather than project it onto Sophie, I will be like, "You know what, Soph? The villagers came up on this thing. It made me feel like you didn't care about me, but I'm acknowledging those thoughts rather than reacting to them. Because in the past, I would have reacted to them, and it would have been an argument. Oh, so you can't say I look nice. I always say you look nice. Okay." And then you have to unpick it. So it's like, what, huh? Like in my mind, it doesn't even make sense anymore. But it's a good example to give, and it's okay to express how you feel, but not project it onto other people. Like I don't need to project how I'm feeling on Sophie. I don't feel good with myself, because I don't feel good about myself. I need to project that onto her. No, that's why I feel like that's what a lot of people get wrong, that they seek validation from others for something that they haven't like even looked at or checked in on themselves. And I was one of those people. And I'm also learning it's okay to be like, "You know what, I don't want to talk right now." Like I feel flat. And it's okay to be like, "It has nothing to do with you, Sophie." But Sophie, again, we know each other so well. Sophie knows when it has nothing to do with her. And if it does, and I, have a tone, or I'm curt, or I speak to her in a way, she'll be like, no, you're not going to do that. And then I have to check myself and be like, "You know what, I apologize, because whatever I'm feeling, it's not on you. And whatever you've said has triggered something in me that is sitting dormant, that the villagers have made. Ooh, okay, let's start a village fire." No, let's put water in it, but let's figure that out. So like dousing it with water is kind of like the solution to remedying it and not projecting, like being the village head and just observing said thing. Finn.
Wow. Oh, I think that's it. I would rather now have that conversation, whereas before I would have run any excuse to run away from a conversation, and the tactics of that would have been going cold and just allowing time to pass,
and then come back
and then come back, and then everything's fine. Like just move on. Like
I want to argue,
and I wouldn't.
I won't be like, so you don't want to talk about it? Oh, so you're just gonna leave it like this?
And I would have been, well, how would I have reacted in the past?
I don't know what you want me to say.
That
was your default.
that was
your,
that
I
was
don't,
it.
What do you want me to say?
Exactly, because I would, in my avoidant way, I would react. So, taking the example you just used, if you were like, oh, so you can't say that I'm nice. I always tell you that,
nice.
Or you look nice. I always tell you that you're nice, that you look nice. That would have instantly, in my avoidant brain, be like, oh, okay, you see, this is why it's not safe to be around you, because you can't. You're coming at me. I've literally just been existing in the day, and you're coming at me because I haven't said something that you want me to say,
which is
where I don't live in your mind. So then that would trigger a shutdown, and I'd be like, I would have reacted instead of taking a minute and responded. There was no taking a minute. It was immediate shutdown. You are coming at me for whatever reason. I don't have the tools or want to have the tools to respond to this. Whereas now I'd have been like, okay, where is that coming from?
But we wouldn't even have got to that.
No, I'm saying that.
No, I know, because I would have said to you, something's come up. My villagers telling me something. That's how we communicate now. Like my villagers, and we say, let's tattle on ourselves. So what are the villagers saying? So it's like the villagers saying that X, Y, Z, and then you'd say, okay, where's that come from? And then you go deeper into it, and that's how you communicate. But it's about pinpointing it when it comes up. And that's something that's not easy to do. It's something that I'm finding easier to do now, because again, I used to outsource so much of my my worth on other people's perspective of myself, and then you can't communicate healthily. You cannot communicate properly when you're stuck in fight or flight, when you're stuck in constant generalized anxiety over every single thought, movement of yourself and of people around you. You're just literally like a deer in headlights trying to run away from a cheetah. That's just literally how it was. So it genuinely is like just talking about how we communicate. Okay, so how we communicate is just like expressing what our villagers say, what our inner dialogue tries to tell us. And when you do that, once you've got a grasp on it, you learn it, it gets easier to do, because then you're actively choosing to not come from a place of trauma. You're not listening to those voices. You are just the observer of said voice. You're not reacting from it. So, yeah.
And I think we also explore it together. So it's not like you versus me.
Yeah.
It's us doing it together.
Us versus the trauma, basically. Because then when you look at it in that way, it's like we're not battling each other. We're battling what our villagers are saying. And they don't serve us anymore. We're not in survival mode anymore. So when you're not in survival mode, you can't use old tactics and expect to have a new outcome. That's just, it doesn't work. And that's something that I struggled with for a long time. It's like, well, if I change this or if I do this thing, but it was all external stuff. It wasn't actually like the nitty gritty work that you have to do in the really uncomfortable space you have to do when you have to sit with yourself. And everyone's like, oh, but now you've grown so much. I'm like, yes, thank you, I have. But at the same time, there's still so much more. And I am hard on myself, as much as I don't sometimes think that I am. And yeah, it's all about finding balance.
Talk about that a lot.
Yeah. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Pause for contemplation.
Pause for deep thought. Another example of this was it last week when I got my blood results, and I was feeling really, really, really frustrated by it. And we had a conversation on the balcony, a place where we have a lot of our deep conversations. We had a conversation on the balcony, and we were exploring what those blood tests meant for me, and how I then was sort of funneling it through how I was expressing, how I was feeling, how I was therefore talking to you, my body language, my tone of voice, my responses to things. And instead of and in the past, how I was expressing would have generated an argument, but instead, and that's really one thing about Naya, and I say this all the time, she's very, very good at just providing space to just be. So you can just feel however it is you feel without fear of it being used against you, which again is the avoidant MO. So one thing she said to me on the balcony was, you know, good job for feeling how you feel, but you're not allowing yourself enough time to feel it. It's like you want to move on from the feeling really quickly. And that was really apt for me, because it then reminded my villagers that no, you are not a waste of space for feeling how you feel. And then that fosters a relationship for us to go down that path together, rather than it being, oh, well, your energy is saying X and that's weird, or you're weird, and it triggering a shutdown, because, or my behavior, because now I can feel when I'm, if something's bothering me and I'm starting to shut down, and she's like, no, absolutely absolutely not, because then it changes the way I communicate, how I be yeah, how I be. And what we do now is, instead of that triggering something in you, or you triggering something in me, and then it's like, and then no one's actually talking, we go down the path together. Okay, I'm sensing this, do you want to talk about it, yes or no? And if it's no, that's fine.
And there's no pressure from me to be like, that's the thing. In the past, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to communicate, because I want to communicate there and then, because again, urgency, everything is fast with anxiety. Why do you have to have this conversation now? So if Soph says, no, I don't really want to talk about it now, okay, well, if and when you want to talk, I'm here. Because it leaves space for her to be like, okay, I will. And she might not. She may remember, she may not. Who knows? But it's about leaving that space to, when you actually think about it, like, communicating is such an art. And so many things can be prevented from having a solid, honest conversation. And then I saw a thing about is it honesty? What's the video I showed you the other day?
Honesty and transparency.
They're two different things, and that for me blew my mind.
Blew mine as well.
Because what do you say? Honesty is the overall,
like the facts of the situation.
The facts. Transparency is what the situation is, or the minutiae of it per se. But a lot of things can be can be prevented, and a lot of things can be made clear when you communicate. I'm not gonna say correctly, but you don't communicate from your wounds. That's the thing. That's the difference. Because we were just communicating from our wounds, so you can't hear anything. The villagers are so like, you can't hear anything when you're listening to respond. Excuse me, rather than to listen, if that makes sense. And that's something that we used to do so much. And in a lot of ways, there's only a couple of people in my life that I can actually be like, yeah, I can speak to you and have a conversation, because again, a lot of people aren't in a space, unfortunately, just in the world, because that's why the world is in the way it is, in the state it's in, because people can't communicate outside of their own wounds or outside of their ego. And when you do step out of it, you sometimes feel quite isolated, because then you know that you're doing your best to communicate as best you can, but you're not going to be able to communicate with people that aren't communicating outside of survival or ego or their trauma. So that it becomes even more, which I've figured out, rather than I used to get upset about it, well, why can't I communicate, or how can I? You can't reach someone who's not in the same space as you. So rather than trying to force it, it lets you go deeper into why you feel like you have to force it, and just not be okay to be like, I'm here in this space, and I'm just going to hit flow here and continue to work on myself, because everything comes back to us. Everything is a mirror. Everything is a reflection of us. The way we perceive people, the world, is how we view ourselves and what we feel like we deserve, and then therefore we'll communicate through that. And that's something that is so lost on so many people. That's why, again, I say the world is in the state that it is, because no one communicates, I feel like, from a space of just how do I actually feel before I start this conversation? It's more like, nah. Again, it's that autopilot. I'm just going to respond from what I know, which is survival. And then there's just an argument when it could just be a conversation. Can we take a minute? Can we have this conversation at a later date? I don't know where you're speaking to me. Something's coming up within me. What you said has triggered me. Let me go back and think about why that's triggered me. No one takes time to do that. It's always, let me get what I need to say out now. Or, you did this. It's you. No. There's something that I'm feeling about this, and it's making me feel a type of way. Let me go and sit with that. But when you start with yourself, you're not putting it on someone else. And that doesn't allow for the person to be defensive. That's the difference. You're not going at somebody, you're thinking of it from, how is this making me feel? Do you know what I mean? So no matter what someone else says to you, not no matter what, because people will say things and words do actually hurt, but it always comes back to what that brings up in us as to our reaction to what is said to us.
Okay. Preach.
Finn.
Preach. It's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true. Like, I really don't have anything to add to that, because you hit all the points.
Oh my gosh, what? Guys, the camera has fallen and our faces are half off the camera. Oh my gosh.
Was that the whole time, or was it drifted? Oh, it's drifted down. It's drifted down.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, that's staying in, because that was a good video. So
and it's real. We're real.
I just hope my armpit wasn't in that. Ooh.
No, your arm's been down, babe.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Okay, well.
I know it doesn't feel okay.
No, it doesn't. And it's just contributing to how I'm feeling anyway today. So, yeah. You have anything to add before we finish?
I love the way we talk now. I love the way we communicate now. Again, we don't always get it right. In all honesty, I really struggle when things go past annoyance and irritation and land in anger. I really struggle with anger. I'm not a violent person, FYI, just putting it out there, but I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I struggle more. We're not giving Saka free promo, are we? I just said the brand name. Doesn't matter. Moot point. So I still struggle with that. And in the past, I would have reacted completely through it. So shouting while shutting down, being cold, being off, being dismissive, because I don't know how to regulate how I feel when I feel angry. Whereas now, and again, I don't always get it right. Like I said, I didn't get it right the other week. If you knew the argument that we had and what it was over.
Cake. Cake. I didn't think it wasn't over the cake.
It wasn't over the cake.
Like you said, the villagers, the traumas from each of us, our villagers were shouting at each other.
It was outrageous.
Ridiculous.
I almost wish it was recorded.
Same, so we could have played it to you, because you would have been laughing. That, I feel like, would have gone viral.
That
would have gone viral, if you will.
But I gave myself a minute, and I gave herself a minute, and we also respected the space that we both needed to take.
Yeah.
And I'm in this space now of, whereas I would avoid, because avoiders don't like conflict. I would avoid coming back to the conversation of fear of, are we just going to argue again?
We're rehashing the same thing.
Are we rehashing the same thing? I want to resolve it, and not in a rushed way, not in a let's resolve it right now, but not avoiding it completely and just allowing space for emotions to play out how they play out.
That's the difference between that I've learned while I've been learning about my own attachment style and avoidant attachment style. Avoidance just literally, you have an argument, they leave it, and then time passing, that's a solution.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't need to come up again, because and that doesn't help anything.
No, it doesn't. But from an avoidant perspective, it's, I don't have the tools to deal with this.
So if I leave enough time, then I can come back and be like,
yeah, good, and we don't have to address it. We'll just move on.
And I just accepted that. I was like, yeah, because the anxiety was, I was like, fine, we don't have to deal with it. Let's just leave it. But no, we don't do that anymore. And choosing to do that would literally be a disservice to ourselves. And it would be actively us choosing to go backwards, which is never an option.
And sometimes it's not easy, or I don't find it easy always to express how I feel.
We're getting there.
Thanks, doll. But I would rather struggle through that communication of I don't really know how I feel, but it's not great,
But not shut down.
But not shut down, rather than shut down and then it's just like, well, what now?
And
Rihanna. I'm not gonna sing it.
You don't have the license for that, babe. And we'll be copyrighted immediately.
And I want to hear how Nai feels all the time. I would rather her express, I feel X, Y, Z, and not. Sometimes I don't have the. It's not for me to have the answer, but just providing space. Sometimes I don't even respond, and it will come out for Nai if you just give enough space and safe space without reacting to everything that's being said. Because you're taking it personally, or you're making it about, you know.
We're gonna have to wrap it up soon, people.
Sorry, you're making it about you. If you don't do that, if you just allow space and also respect the person who is speaking to you, it fosters healthier communication.
Agreed. My ADHD that was a ADHD. That's why I was like, can we just? Because I'm literally flagging. I don't know what that was.
Sneeze?
Probably my asthma. I felt like that was weird. Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do any more talking, so we're going to end the video there. Great point, by the way. Not apologizing for my flatness. Hope you've enjoyed the video, even with the camera doing that.
And my last thought is for everyone to go away and think about what it is about communication that they struggle with, if anything, and think about why. Okay, bye.
Peace.